What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sports and Layers. This is episode 4 of the podcast. We're coming in. Today is February 4th. We're at the in-between week between the championship round and the Super Bowl. So we want to start off with our reactions from the championship round. Just as a quick note, as far as our predictions were concerned, as coining like the best predictors, Ricky had the best prediction on the Philly game. He had Philly winning 30-17. That game was actually, what was it? It was 31-7. So he had the biggest deficit. And obviously we know what happened with Brock Purdy. We'll dive into that. And then for the Bengals game, Darren, you won't see it on the podcast, but he did switch his pick. So he ended up going Chiefs 30-28 over Bengals, and that was the closest one just because he was the only one that actually picked the Chiefs. So I'll give the floor to those that had the best predictions, and then we can give our overall prediction.
All right. So the thing with the Eagles and the Niners, it wasn't just Brock Purdy. It was the fact that if you notice the trenches, the Eagles kicked their ass. I mean, if you look at Miles Sanders' first touchdown run, like they blew them off the ball like 5 yards. They was in the end zone with Miles Sanders, and he just had to walk in there. So I feel like the trenches, and then you saw how Purdy got hurt. Hassan Reddick came off the line, and boom, he's done. And it was the case all game. I mean, like we said, like that. What did they have, like 70 sacks in the season? So when you look at the trenches, that's where the game was won. I mean, what was it? 3 of the touchdowns were
running touchdowns
in the air. And, I mean, but situations in big games, I question, like when players say, dude, he got that it factor when he talk about players. I don't know if he, as a coach, he has that, because on that Devontae Smith non-catch, why did he throw the flag?
Right.
Like, I feel those that when a team starts to huddle, it gives a clear sign to say, you know what, throw the flag.
Yeah, exactly. When
that didn't happen.
When they're hurrying up. When they're hurrying up.
That little motion that he was doing, like, what is this? Like,
did y'all peep the rush for them to huddle up though live?
That was interesting.
Did y'all peep? I didn't really peep it. I wasn't in.
Like right after the catch, Devontae Smith, like you could literally see he got the black gloves going like that. And
I mean, Devontae Smith gave.
Hey,
what'd you say, Rick? You were breaking up.
No, Devontae Smith got, he did something with his hand to tell them to huddle up. They didn't notice that, and they just were just like, oh, let's hurry up with them. It's like, why don't you throw your flag? Question it. It wasn't a catch.
That sounds like coaching. It sounds like the Eagles.
It is coaching.
They must have been like, yo, anytime y'all have any play where it's kind of like, yo, this is what we're gonna do, everybody, you know what I mean? Like they want
he don't got the people in his ear, like the people upstairs, like, yo, you see the replay.
I don't think anybody saw it. Like, I don't even think the refs, like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Even the refs didn't think that he didn't. Like, it was like
the receivers are getting smarter. The players are getting smarter. If you notice, like, he crushed his body so hard, tight together. It was just hard to naturally see.
Players are doing that.
No, you saw the
like they're kind of blocking the camera angles.
You saw the drop. It was a drop.
Bro, dude on the Chiefs did that. That dude, Kadarius Toney, on that. I mean, they didn't call it a touchdown, but he had a similar play in the Chiefs game where he fell in the end zone, but the way he fell, the dude kind of like covered the ball.
Right.
Tell. I mean, they still show that he didn't catch it, but like that's a good point. Like I feel like they're getting taught that, like, yo, if you you know what I mean, use your body, you know what I mean, cover the ball.
But the also on the Niners, not to rip on him, it's just that you question why did they have Purdy back there when Johnson got hurt again? You would have been better off running a wildcat with like Debo.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
At least you have the
Did
threat.
McCaffrey throw a touchdown this season, like in the regular season? I think he threw one, right? Like I think in his first game,
yeah, I think he did throw one. He had a
I
game
think in
with
his
rushing,
debut,
catching,
he
and
threw. Yeah,
passing
he had them 3 touchdowns. He threw one. Like just have him throw.
You gotta try
Yeah.
something. Like, don't
It's the
just throw in the
playoffs.
flag. Like, damn.
I'm not sure about throwing it, but at least you have the threat of a runner as in that
Yeah.
quarterback position. Other than like Purdy's not going to do anything.
Nah.
He's not going to do nothing. He had a torn ligament in his elbow.
About to get a Tommy John.
I mean, he got the pitcher. He got the pitcher injury.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that game was kind of boring. The better game was the game at 6. And I mean, as much as people want to complain about said referees or calls, and I mean, I was looking forward to overtime. You can't do that. You can't, push the quarterback when he's out of bounds.
I think that's like, you're asking a lot for these dudes, man. Like the people, and it's like the people I feel like that make the rules don't play football. Like how you going full speed, you're running full speed at somebody. It's the NFC Championship game. I think he touched him. And fucking like he's already going out of bounds. Like I don't like that. Whatever. I mean, I don't like to see a game end like that, but
right. It's like in hindsight, right? Like that kid, when he put on the tape, all right, he's gonna see, damn, Pat Mahomes was actually like on the white line when I pushed him. Shit. But in the game, he don't know that. Some of these quarterbacks, man, sometimes they fake like they about to slide, they don't slide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of these
QBs
quarterbacks
are getting smarter.
They about to go out of bounds before they go out of bounds.
He didn't lay him.
Before they go out of bounds, they won't go out of bounds. They'll just stick the ball out real quick, get that extra yard, then they'll go out of bounds. Like you gotta knock these dudes out, man. I feel for dude. You gotta do on some real. You gotta do what the Eagles did to Purdy. You gotta knock out their quarterback. Seriously, to have a chance. Like you don't want to injure nobody, but unfortunately, sometimes it's football. Dudes gotta get injured. Like,
so this also goes to what we was talking about last week when we was talking about the advantages offenses have versus defensive, and that's why we were talking about when y'all disagreed with that you have to be going forward out of bounds to stop the clock, because if you just go backwards or you go sideways, the clock continues to keep moving. Case in point, defense is at a disadvantage when a quarterback, they protect them so much, they don't know when to hit him. They don't know when to take because you don't want to get a personal foul. You don't want to hurt your team. And also, he doesn't know where he's on the field. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a give and take, with, the way that certain rules are put in place, because you can't let the defense be at total disadvantage, because it becomes just an offensive game. And it's like, what are we doing here? We're just here to exist. Mm-hmm. And it's not fair for defensive players.
I mean, to the NFL's point, like the NFL, they don't want what happened in the Eagles game. Like the starting quarterback of a team gets knocked out, and then now, honestly, the game is lopsided. Like the NFL, truthfully, they really don't want that. You know what I mean? That's why all the rules are there to prevent that from happening. But.
Well, I got a question though. Why didn't the Niners get another backup, like another respectable one? Like you were down to Purdy, your third guy, and you had who was it? They had Josh.
They had
I mean,
I don't know. I think the Niners did everything they could. Quarterback. Think about it. If you're in Madden, you're
like
down
why
to
was he on the roster?
Quarterback. Think about it. If you're in Madden, your third string quarterback is gonna be like what, rated a 68?
Yes.
Your fourth stringer probably gonna be a 56. That's what that dude Johnson was.
But it's
think about what they're playing with here. They're playing with garbage quarterbacks. Dude.
They were, but like you had Purdy had 5 weeks left in the regular season. You would think once he wins one or two, it's like, all right, maybe we want to get another guy just in case. Because I thought Jimmy G would have been able to suit up.
That's the problem.
I mean, I don't know. But that's what the GM.
But think about an NFL roster, though, right? So, okay, you got all these dudes that are injured, all right? Mm-hmm. How many quarterbacks did they lose? They had a couple two quarterbacks go down?
Yeah.
you don't have enough roster spots where you're gonna go get a quarterback off the street. You can't. What quarterback you gonna sign? Who you gonna trade for? You already put all your chips in the bag to get McCaffrey. You sold all them chips to get what's his name? Trey Lance. He's hurt. You gotta look like if you look at the GM, right? On some realistic, like non-Madden, whatever. What options do you really have? Right? You're down to your fourth and third string quarterbacks. It on some real, like they did everything they could with the quarterback.
Still, had a
he
great...
just got hurt. The quarterback just got hurt.
Jimmy got hurt at the trade deadline, so you're not trading for, someone's backup or whatever the case is, just to be your backup. But then also, you're stuck in a position where there's not enough talent.
I mean,
there's not enough talent for you to sit there talking about. You're talking about what, sixth?
Like where are they going to get a quarterback from?
I mean, what about
realistically? Where would they get
guys off the streets? I mean, Cam Newton, Kaepernick. I don't know.
Who's a free
Cam Newton and Kaepernick? I mean,
Cam Newton.
I mean, hey, I would rather have him in than like someone that literally can't throw the ball.
Okay, so how much is Kaepernick? Okay, so how much are you going to sign Cam Newton for?
I don't know, a veteran minimum.
You're gonna sign.
So Cam's gonna sign for $1 million just to come through, right? All right, so Cam realistically, like if you realistically play it out, right? Yeah. So it would have been 5 weeks of Brock Purdy, right? And we're heading into the playoffs. We're gonna sign Cam Newton off the street for $1 million after like, dude, it's not realistic. It's not realistic.
I look at it like this, though. Is that are you saying that they should have signed someone better than Josh Johnson?
That's my bigger point. Like,
I don't think that there was somebody
have a backup plan.
There wasn't anyone out there.
You're trending towards being a playoff team. Like, you gotta always have a backup plan. Like, whether it's a tight end that could throw or something. But I just personally think that like they weren't prepared for the Brock Purdy injury. The only week they would have been prepared was Super Bowl, and that was a maybe that Jimmy Garoppolo could suit up as the backup.
But the problem is that, like, I just think that, like, I think we're overselling as far as in who someone like, let's say, Cam Newton is. I can't definitively say that you put Cam Newton in there.
No one signed him. The entire NFL has had a chance to sign Cam Newton.
Yeah, I just don't. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my counter would be. Is I think that there needs to be a situation where they should bring back is an emergency third QB that you have a 54th man that can dress, because you don't want to put yourself in that position where both your quarterbacks is hurt and then you're done.
Right.
Yo, but guys, like, if you look at it, like, so remember back, was it like 2 years ago when Denver, back when they had like, I think they had Drew Lock, they had Trevor Siemian, like a bunch of bums. They were all hurt. Basically, they went into an NFL game with a wide receiver starting at quarterback. Bro, the dude threw like 5 passes. It was ridiculous.
Wait, which team was this?
Denver. You guys don't remember this? It was like a couple years ago, bro. Yeah. Dude, literally.
It was Denver. COVID season.
They had 0 healthy quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
They started an NFL game with a wide receiver.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who was the wide receiver?
I forget his name, like Hilton or some shit. Like, he's actually a decent wide receiver, but he's a wide receiver. He's not a quarterback. Right. They threw like 5 passes all game. It was like the most cooked thing I've ever seen, bro. Like, wow. But why do you think they did that? They didn't go and sign Kaepernick. They didn't go and like, dude, like these teams, bro, like
Kendall Hinton was his name.
Yeah, like
he played college football QB? At Wake Forest as a QB. Yeah. But he signed as a wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver, dude. He's an NFL wide receiver. He might have I think McCaffrey might have played QB in high school, probably. But like these dudes, he's not an NFL QB. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter if he played QB wherever he played QB at. Like, he's an NFL wide receiver. But my point is, it's so hard to find human beings who are competent at the NFL level to sit back under center and actually field an NFL game. That is mad hard to do. Like, these dudes, they're looking for it. The answer is not Cam Newton. The answer is not Colin Kaepernick. It's
I mean,
not.
It
is not, man.
I think at the point where you lose your third string quarterback, you pretty much got to go down with the ship at that point. Like it's not.
Thanks, D. That's
doing.
exactly what I'm talking. That's exactly what I'm.
You lose your fourth. You lose your first string
They
quarterback.
lost their fourth. And they lost their third and their fourth.
Yeah.
Usually when you lose your first, you're going down with the ship. You're talking about third.
Truthfully, what we should be criticizing. What we should be criticizing is their Hall of Fame left tackle who didn't show up. Trent Williams. Like, where the hell was he, bro? Trent Williams, Hall of Fame freaking left tackle, didn't show up.
He was fighting.
He was busy fighting while his quarterback was getting his freaking hand freaking Tommy John or elbow Tommy John. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're supposed to have this ill O-line. Where was the O-line? That's really where the issue is. Where's your Hall of Fame left tackle? Who I don't know. I think they made him the highest paid too, or whatever it is. Like, what's good? You know what I mean? So really, that's probably where the criticism should go. Like, it's like your players let you guys down.
Yeah. And I want to make sure we hear from D on the Bengals Chiefs, because you were the one with the best prediction. What made you switch the score? What made you see the Chiefs coming out on top?
Honestly, I told y'all about the line movement on the pod, and I'm just like one of those people that, all right, everybody's on the fucking Bengals. Like, I think it was just a zag I think it was just as simple as zagging when everybody was zigging. Like, you know, they're at home. The Burrowhead, they was hearing that Burrowhead noise. Like, I don't know why they would let that get out until after the game, but
that bulletin board shit is real. Dude.
That's all. If you
take that shit to offense,
if you're in the NFL already, you shouldn't need any motivation. But I'm sure that didn't hurt. So and I just thought, like damn, the Bengals. I mean, you see that line still hasn't been addressed. Like, and then I was just thinking about like how what's the better Super Bowl matchup? Because the Eagles with that line against the Bengals, oh my god, that game would be over before it started. So I mean, I think you get another 2 weeks of rest from Mahomes. That should make for a great Andy Reid Bowl, I guess. A great Kelsey Bowl, whatever. I mean, how there's a bunch of storylines. So yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna switch my pick.
Yo, D, it's Black History Month. You can't even say that we got two brothers playing against each other in the bowl. First time ever.
We got.
Is this really the first time ever?
Yeah, this is the first time. Two Black people.
We got one.
It won't be the last. I'll tell you that.
Yo,
we got 1.5 black quarterbacks.
Andrew Hawkins is a former wide receiver for the Browns, and he said his pops told me, yeah, we got two brothers in the Super Bowl for the first time, and he was like, yeah, they both went to Cincinnati. He was like, Jalen Hurts didn't go to Cincinnati. So like, you thought you were talking about the Kelsey brothers. It was like, nah, we talking about two black quarterbacks.
Wow, that's funny. We got two brothers and two brothers.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I'll give it to Mahomes. I guess. Yeah. Sure.
Yo, that's another topic for another day.
That's another topic.
Yeah. Yo, I ain't even gonna say what just popped in my mind. I'm not gonna go down that path. But yeah, go ahead.
Yo, that's another topic. But before we even like hop into football, like I already know it happened last year, but like I wanna I know that we all followed his career. Like, Tom Brady retired.
Yeah.
We can decide if we believe it's true or not, but like I would like to ask, like, what's your favorite moment?
Damn, we still starting at those.
Favorite Tom Brady moment? That's a hard one. Shit. That's the goal right there, man.
You got one? You want to start it?
One of my favorite moments is when they came back on Sunday Night Football against the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
And they were like, it was Peyton Manning. It was prime time. They were down big.
What year?
what was this like? And this had to be like, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't 2014. Was this like 2013? Had to be around that.
We was at home, right?
Yeah, we was at home. And
like 21, like 3, some shit like that. 21.
They was waxing their ass. And then I remember
Week 12. Tom Brady's 24-point comeback.
Yeah, yep. And there was a moment when he, like, I think Gronk scored a touchdown. And Tom went to him, and he was crazy. And that was just Brady.
Oh yeah, I remember you. Like they were both like going crazy.
Yeah, and that was just the embodiment of who Brady was, and that was just who he was as an individual, as a competitor. You never felt when you were down, no, I don't care how many points, you always felt you had a chance. It was never over. It was never the ball game, whatever. Like, because you knew that when you got 12 in your corner, you always have a chance. So I mean, you can always pick Super Bowls or whatever, but like that type of game, it was just like, that was a moment that always will stick with me.
Yeah, nah, definitely.
That's a good one.
Shit.
Tom Brady got so many, yo. He got like, I mean, you got the 28-3 or whatever comeback.
I'm trying to think of a non-Super Bowl, but
I can't give y'all mine. I just want to make sure I had the right week. Oh, okay, yep. So mine was honestly, damn. What's I don't know which season this is though, but it was that AFC Championship game against Mahomes. Honestly, like that game was just crazy. It says January 20th, 2019, so I guess that's the 2018 season. Bro, that was the most wild back and forth game. Dealing with the young gun Mahomes, going to Gronk on 3rd and long, and just like we just kept hitting them. And then like I was watching it in a dope scene too. Like Tom Brady, he's my favorite QB. Like the first game I ever watched was the Tuck Rule game. Like honestly, became a football fan watching him. And so like I'm from Boston, but I was a Bucs fan the past few seasons because I didn't respect how Bill Belichick handled Tom Brady. In my opinion, Bill Belichick has cost the Patriots 2 Super Bowls. The one Tom Brady won and the one where he benched Malcolm Butler last minute. Those are different topics, but like that AFC Championship game, just kind of showing Mahomes like the throne is still just a little bit out of your reach. Like now they've since changed overtime rules to try to, give teams more of a fair chance because they say we got the ball first. And like, they thought Brady threw a pick on the play when there was offsides. It's like, I'm sure Brady was aware that he had a free play there, but yeah, just the cerebral nature, like him just out dueling, like no matter what scheme, it just seems like he would always come out on top. That's my favorite Brady moment.
Yeah. I think I got one. So the 16-0 season, 16-0 season. I think it was it the last game of the year, the last regular season game against the Giants?
Yep.
That when he throws a bomb to Randy. I don't know if did Randy drop it or it's just incomplete.
Incomplete.
It's incomplete, and then the very next play he throws the same. They run the same play. They connect. I think that's the record.
Oh,
but
both
for Moss.
Both.
It's both of them. The 50th. It's his 50th touch, or the 49th, the 50th touchdown.
50th and 23rd receiving touchdown.
Yeah,
wow.
That I think that was my just because he just is that's the type of player he is. He's gonna go right back to it. It's like, fuck it, I'm this bold.
Question for you, D. What'd you think? Because I feel like this was a big one for you too. Correct me if I'm wrong. The ill touchdown pass Moss had that year over Revis, when you said he got his ego bruised after because he sat because that play was crazy.
We was at UMass, I think, watching that. He just threw his hand up, and I should just stuck to his hand.
That was crazy.
One-hander?
Yeah, he just throws it up at the last second.
I'm like, he's doing this to like a Hall of Fame cornerback. But that just speaks to Randy Moss. What's
yours, TG?
Damn. Honestly, I don't know, man. I just feel like Tom is just like, to me, like the greatest leader in sports, like history. You know what I mean? Like he's like, to me, like the epitome of a leader, like a, somebody who's like basically everything your organization is, you're gonna put it all on one player. You're gonna want it on a player like a Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's just gonna like just run the shit, Honestly, my favorite moment with him, because like I really felt like some type of way when we just kind of like, that whole Patriot way, we're treating him like whatever, and we just let him go. And to me, I felt like after that, it made me not be a Pats fan. Literally, like,
Damn.
yeah, bro, like, dude, Pats through and through. But the way we did Tom Brady, man, it just made me feel like, yo, man, this is just like, I don't want to be a Pats fan no more. And then when Tom Brady went to Tampa and won that ring in the first year, dog, right away, like that, just that alone, like, I mean, you could even look at the run, you could look at different moments, but like just the fact that he just won that ring, like one, to me, like that's just like, it just shows who Tom Brady is, man. Just like and after that, like he just like transcends, football to me, like on some like, the way Jordan and Ali and all these other guys and, transcend their own sport. Now Tom Brady for me, like, dude, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap for a career, man. You did it all now, like, so.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brady.
I think he could have retired probably.
Let's dive into the end.
Yeah. No, I was just, I think he could have retired after the Seahawks Super Bowl and still been the GOAT. And he wins.
Dude,
what? He wins 3 more after that.
Left, imagine if he just left after like winning that 7th, like just like said, dude, I'm done. Like, I mean, he did want to meet, like he had his word, like that he had wanted to keep. Yeah, I want to play till 45. So I respect that. And he did play till 45. But man, like if he would have just retired, like right after like that last Super Bowl, kind of like John Elway, retire right after the Super Bowl, dude, like that. Yeah, I mean, he's already the GOAT, but that's just some legendary stuff that will honestly never ever be duplicated.
My only thing is, I actually, just as a fan, one of my other top favorite moments is the comeback against the Rams. Like that following season after the Super Bowl, the Rams won it. But like as a fan, what were they down? 27-7.
Yeah, you thought they was gonna come back.
And it was like, if not for like a defensive lapse, he probably comes back, wins that, and wins another Super Bowl. So it's just like even when they were down big against the Cowboys this year, we talked about it, but it's like you got a drop ball from Mike Evans, that's a bomb touchdown, and like they passed on getting a field goal at a point. Like if they make 1 or 2 more plays that they're in it, I mean, you can never count that man out, honestly.
Tom Brady still, what did he lead the league in passing last year? Or lead in pass attempts? Like he's still
and attempts.
He can still play. It's just like at this point, he's just, come on, man. Like I done gave everything to this game, you know what I mean? Lost my family, you know what I mean? All like I'm done, man. It's over, man.
I don't want to expand. I have one last moment. It was always like, I mean, I feel like the greatest Super Bowl I seen was the Pats and Seahawks, and him being down 10 points to the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Him being down 10 points to the Legion of Boom and practically, picking them apart.
That was I wanted to say almost that one, but I wanted to think of like a, but I
actually got tackled by Darian in that moment when they came back and won. I remember that vividly. I just remember we had a bet. It was we versus everyone, and like we're at Rick's apartment or something.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like literally, I'm a Pats fan, but I'm just like, I think the Seahawks are gonna win it. So I'm talking trash the whole game. Everybody's dead silent. All of a sudden, Tom Brady started coming back. The group gets louder and louder. And then when Brady scored that touchdown, I was literally in shock. And next thing I know, boom, put on the ground. He's like, shut the fuck up. I was just like, what? I was like, wait, in my mind, I'm still thinking about the game. Like, yo, did
Man,
Tom
what the hell
really
just happened?
I'm not even thinking about the man like that. Literally just tackled me. I'm like, yo, what just happened? That game was crazy.
Yeah.
I felt like that after the end of that Falcons one though. Like that one was like the most ridiculous comeback. That 28-3 one.
That was
That's just
half the crowd left the stadium.
It's unexplainable. That one's unexplainable.
I remember Jeezy walking out. Yeah, we got this. ATL all the Atlanta rappers was hype.
Get an early start on the night.
But yeah, let's move it in the NBA because a lot has been happening this week. We brought up a good one in the meeting to probably kick off with Kyrie Irving. Like, what do y'all think of the trade request? Stephen A. Smith was saying it's idiocy. I think it's wild, but yeah, y'all take it from there.
Yo, when you get Kyrie, get ready for the experiment because the Cavs fans told us we didn't listen. We tried to tell the Nets fans, they didn't listen. Now they see. Just get ready for the experience. He's a talented basketball player, but as we all know in sports, talent gets you but so far. It's more to the aspect of, the game. And yeah.
Do we know exactly why he requested the trade?
Well, the rumors are what they're reporting.
Extension.
Money.
Yeah, like it's money. Like he wanted to get a big extension, like a long-term.
So they're not offering. Basically, he's not getting the max.
Yeah, he's not getting the max. And he's probably not getting 4 or 5 years. They might offer him 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like once he found that out, like they were progressing, and then once he found that there's a wall there, he's like, I want to be traded. It's a week before the trade deadline. Though. Like, damn, not like you got less than a week now. Like, he's just the most complicated like individual in sports. Like, I bought me a Kyrie Celtics jersey. I'm glad I lost it. Like, he did. Like, you can't trust him. Like, literally, he was on Boston saying I'm gonna stay forever. Then he teams up with KD. He ain't even loyal to KD. Like, I mean, people bring up someone called him the worst teammate ever. I was listening to a podcast. They were like, he's literally
the worst teammate in sports. Definitely.
And like, I mean, they brought up not getting vaccinated. They brought up like the whole anti-Semitic stuff. Like, you just think about the different pieces of drama he's been involved in each and every year. And
think about his first season where he basically just said, "Fuck it, KD's not playing this year. I'm just gonna mail it in."
Yeah.
And he didn't go with them into the bubble. He just, I don't know what other injuries or whatever he had, but he wasn't playing.
Selfish player.
I just look at it like a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's sticking it to the Nets because y'all suspended me. Y'all made me do all this. You made me do all that." I think in twofold, if you look at it, I think they probably said, "Here's 2 years," and he wanted 4. And that's why he was like, all right, well, fine, then trade me.
Right.
And trade me because I'm not coming back here. And he wants to get traded because he knows that, I want to say it's like the Rockets, the Pistons.
Yeah.
As far as with money-wise, those are the only teams that can really sign him outright. And his starting salary would be around $45 million if he gets the max. And for him to get that for a good team, he needs to get traded so then they can acquire his bird rights. That's why he wants to trade.
Yeah.
All that.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think it gets accomplished? Do you guys think
we'll take him in LA? I know that.
Give up something to get Kyrie right now.
We'll send out Westbrook for Kyrie.
You have to if you're Brooklyn. Yeah. This isn't the KD situation because KD didn't have leverage. KD had just signed that 4-year extension. So whereas with Kyrie, he can dip and you don't get shit. So he will dip. He's basically saying, "I'm leaving." Right. So the
problem with it. Okay, this is the problem. Indeed, we had a conversation before. Is getting compensation worthwhile? In the grand scheme of things, or would you rather just let that contract
by subtraction? Whatever, just let him walk.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you're okay, if you're trading said player, and what are you getting back? Are you happy? Do you want to pay? Are you fine with paying? Let's say you trade with the Mavericks. Are you fine with paying Spencer Dinwiddie, $20+ million,
And
you know,
you
just
already
because.
had Dinwiddie. You let him
You already
go
had him,
because you
right.
weren't trying
If
to
you
No, I
sign him.
wouldn't
don't,
do that.
if you
For
don't,
that, I'll just get Westbrook. You know what I mean? Just be like, yo, Lakers, you know what? Let's flip this.
But then
I'll
it's
take
the,
Westbrook expiring contract.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Get me a star.
But then
And we'll
KD
see
and
if I can work
Westbrook,
it out
like,
with.
is
It's
that
KD and Westbrook, but then
For
also
that,
it's just
like-
like, what are you adding? What are you adding? So essentially, you're hoping that the Lakers add their picks with him because what you're not probably going to sign Westbrook after the season.
right?
Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
Lakers
need
have
at
to
least like a
include picks.
first. Yeah, I would need like a first. with
I
that.
saw a potential trade where it was like we were included 2 of our first round draft picks, but then the Nets were also including Joe Harris and I want to say potentially Seth Curry. We threw in another piece with Russell along with the 2.
Interesting.
Bro,
I mean, that would be ridiculous. I think it was just Joe Harris because I'm like, and
I'm not
Steph
trying to
Curry,
give up
definitely
2
Joe.
shooters
I mean,
too. Damn.
I mean, I feel
No,
like they about to start tanking. Like at this
And
point,
that team is gonna be like a bricks. Like, dude, it's gonna be Westbrook,
no, I
Ben
see.
Simmons. Like, it's like
No,
Oh,
I
bricks
see.
city house.
I seen a report. It said that
Bricks at the
we
rim.
can expect the trade to
Right.
happen.
KD's
We can
gonna
expect the
request
trade
a
to
trade from
happen.
that
like
shit.
Howard in the post, dog.
they gotta reinforce the rims. With
Nah,
that.
but they said we can expect the trade to happen quickly. Because the Nets want to, I guess there's other moves that they could make. Because they're saying that there's a lot more people calling about KD than they call about Kyrie.
Yeah.
So
That's
there could be
such a fail. Like the KD Kyrie era was like they
I
were
don't-
6 and 7 in the postseason. Like, come on.
Is that
I
their
never
record
even
really
In the
together?
thought, like,
postseason, yeah.
That's
when
ridiculous.
they got together, I was just like, okay. Like I never thought they were gonna be a legit perennial contender. Like
and then they
And then they recruited James
mortgaged
Harden.
a bunch of, and then they
What
mortgaged,
disaster.
they mortgaged a bunch of, what they had and got Harden, and it was just like, was that worth it? Like,
Bro, they're con artists, bro. They're con artists, man. Do they con these organizations? Do they're gonna leave Brooklyn in shambles. That organization is gonna regret. Think about everything they gave up for James Harden. What did they get out of it? For like what, 1 season? Now they're not gonna get nothing for Kyrie. I'm telling you, Kyrie's gonna walk, and it's gonna be awful because he's gonna land on his feet because Kyrie's a freaking superstar at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And then KD's still injured. Like, dude, like they're con artists, bro. Like they literally like I'm not, for the man or for the organization, but dude, they left Brooklyn in shambles.
I'll just when I heard D's comment like when he got there he wasn't expecting much. I thought they was about to win chips because it was the big 3, like that offensive 3, KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. I was like, damn, this is Warriors 2.0, and you got like Vince. I mean, they had Andre Drummond at a point. They had a squad. They had. Did they have
3
DeAndre Jordan over there? I mean, he was sort of
they had him.
like they had dudes. I was looking at their roster, just like, damn, they got athletes, they got big body dudes, like they got Patty Mills off the bench, Joe Harris, and like just poor leader.
Colossal failure, dude.
And then
they had a
Steve
squad.
Nash is where they really. I feel like that was the horrible move, like putting Steve Nash in as a
that's where coaching, like when you have talent,
we don't
coaching
need no
doesn't
coach.
matter as much, but it matters. It matters when
you
you
don't
have
need
coaches.
a coach.
We'll sub
it matters
ourselves
when you
in
don't
and
have
out
a,
the
you have a
game.
trash ass coach.
Right.
And they conform to the players. That's what happens when you have those type of guys that come in and say, we're coming to you, you have to do what we say. That's when you lose and you find yourself in the next predicament. Is that if they had an organization where it's like, all right, I understand, I can hear you, but you ain't running the show. And I remember when Steve Nash got hired, they was like, Kyrie said, oh, we're gonna come up with a game plan. Like, wait, what? You're a player. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you're not a part of the process.
Having his own practices, like
bro.
Right.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Though. It goes beyond.
To be real, a leader like LeBron is probably one of the few guys that could keep a Kyrie in check, and that's where it really fits. But I mean, Yeah, that era. Can can we talk about, because I want TG to actually start. Just want to know. Speaking of good coaching, I'll transition us. Or speaking of coaching, we actually have a good coach on this end in LA, Darvin Ham. He's bringing these Lakers together, making us look formidable. TG, I'm guessing you watched that Celtics game, that Lakers at Celtics game. What'd you think of that last play of the regulation? What'd you think of the game in general? There was a no call there. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I know we're at Dan Rickson. I want to hear them too, but what was your thought?
Hey, I mean, at the end of the game, we in the Garden, Lions Den, you know what I mean? Close, Lakers, Celtics rivalry, full effect. Got the stars in the building, you know what I mean? Ball in the stars' hands. Hey, ref had a chance. They had a great look at it. Tatum made a great defensive play. Got the rebound. Rest is history.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think about Pat Bev in that game, TG, especially down the stretch?
I don't like Pat Bev. I don't care about Pat Bev. I'm not a Pat Bev fan.
You're not supposed to like him as a
I think he's an irritant. Good for him that he made an NBA career. You know what I'm saying? Good
what was you thinking when you got the putback done?
The putback?
Yeah, the putback done.
He did.
Personally, I don't even remember much of his.
He hit a big three down the stretch, and then he had like an ill putback dunk that gave us the lead in the final minute. And it was like everybody was just quiet in the garden. Everybody's like, "What?"
I gotta check that. I have to look at the replay for that. I don't remember that.
LeBron was like this.
Yeah, Pat Bev is like a
putback dunk.
They were like first dunk since 2019, but he actually said he dunked last year in the playoffs twice. But they were like, "Yo, it might have been his first regular season dunk since 2019."
I didn't even know he could dunk.
Right, it was crazy, yo. That
he can score. Like, what?
He can score.
You gotta watch.
He can do anything other than just run around and just be an irritant.
When it happened, I thought it was LeBron. It was crazy. I literally thought it was LeBron because he kind of went through Jaylen Brown. Like Jaylen Brown didn't go up with him, but he went through Jaylen Brown, and I think White was also trying to. I was like,
"Wait, he dunked in traffic?"
It kind of, it was like emotion.
Do you remember that play? I don't remember that.
It was just one of those things where nobody was expecting it. So yeah, it happened. Like, all right, sure, cool, yeah, all right.
Yo, I'm gonna give you the Pat Bev experience though. After the putback, what is that? Put them up 3?
I think up 2. I think we were up 2 after that.
Okay.
Whatever. All right. I'm gonna give you guys a scenario. Let's get your emotions or whatever out of the game. You're playing basketball. You're on defense. It's about 6 seconds to go. They shoot a 3. You're up 3. The scenario's up 3. They have to shoot, right? If they shoot the 3 and they get the rebound, are you contesting the layup?
Oh yeah, we were up 3. You're right. Nah, that was a bad contest because he got the foul. It was also a pity pat call, but that wasn't the smartest contest.
This is when you start talking risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Right.
Just let
smart play. You're
let
right.
them score.
That's where you have the boneheaded position. That's why this is the reason for my point. A lot of times when you find yourself in an emotion of the game, as far as when you the no call at the end of the game, there's always a call right before that or a little bit before that you can sit there and say, why did you do that with your team? So, why did you do and put your team in that position? It's always like that whatsoever. It's always a position that you find yourself in that you can sit there and say, oh, the refs didn't call this. And it's just like, no, but why did Pat Beverly foul Jaylen Brown?
And then
why did he contest it?
He's 30. He's like 34 years old. Like, come on, man.
Because he's 30, whatever, and he's 5'11" out there trying to guard legitimate NBA stars.
And that's my issue is that like you can sit there and say, oh, it's a pity pat, whatever. It's let him lay the ball up.
It was a boneheaded play. That's fair. My thing is this, right? So here, 2 things. Like one on the LeBron no call play, egregious, like ABC primetime LeBron, wow, that they just swallowed the whistle, right? But I felt better after, unfortunately, Skip Bayless brought it up and highlighted, but they were highlighting that LeBron essentially traveled on that inbound play and the refs let that go. So I'm like, it's kind of tit for
That's
tat.
so called
But
travel.
That wasn't a travel.
But here's
That's
my
not-
thing. That's
It
the
wasn't
only
an
way I found
NBA. It
peace.
wasn't an
That's
NBA
the only
travel.
way I found peace.
It wasn't
Don't
an
take that
NBA
from me.
travel, correct?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And they
But
would
here's
never
my
call a
thing.
travel in that situation.
Here's my thing
They
about
would be
that
blowing off
game.
that
The
call.
refs, that referee crew was so bad. I better not see them at a playoff game. Like the last 4 or 5 minutes was horrible both ways. We were texting because like Darvingham used his challenge and won it with like 4.5 to go. And then there were like 3-4 other terrible calls. When there was that foul called, I think it was called on AD or against AD, some sequence like that.
Yeah.
And then I think the Celtics challenge, what was that play? The Celtics challenge, and they won the challenge. So you were thinking,
And then it was a jump
foul,
ball.
and it was a
Yeah.
jump ball
It's
between
like, what?
AD and Al Horford. Al Horford wasn't in on the play. I think it was
Yeah.
supposed to be AD and Brogdon, I think, right?
We actually won the tip, I think, but
Yeah,
still.
No,
it was a jump
on
ball. I
that-
was like,
on
how
that-
is there a jump ball coming off a foul play that was challenged?
Well,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, that's
basically they're
cool.
saying that there was no possession established because if you remember when Darvingham challenged it, the Lakers had possession of the ball after they got the rebound.
Mhm.
So when Darvingham won it, Lakers had possession already. They're saying with the other foul, when Celtics challenged it, there was no clear possession owner. So that's why it was a jump ball.
And then even the flagrant foul call, I think, was bad. The one they gave to Russ, maybe that's a makeup call, but I did not like that referee crew.
That's fair.
I mean,
Lions
after
done
a
won.
week,
Hey.
I'll give you kudos because there was a lot of bitching and crying and a lot of moaning and whatever, and it was like disgusting. Like they were posting the refs family and sending death threats, and it was like, all right, what are we doing?
Really?
And then also the refs like have some dignity.
Over a
Like, why
regular
are you
season game?
apologizing? Like, why are you
Right.
apologizing about a regular season game that happens? And this play happens a lot. It's not a Lakers. The Lakers fans feel like it's a Laker issue when no, it's human refs reffing a game. It happens to everyone, not just you.
The bad part about it is just like the context of it being Celtics Lakers rivalry. It was like a playoff atmosphere. ABC prime, like it'd be one thing if it was an afternoon game and the Lakers are playing the Bobcats, and it'd be like,
Big time game. It's a big
this
time
was
game.
a big time game. Everybody's
And
into
the Lakers need every win they can get.
like, bro, yeah, like, but
they're fighting for their playoff lives right now. The Lakers.
And we're gonna get in
I
there.
get it.
um,
You know,
okay, so
Is that the refs' fault or is that the Lakers' fault?
in that instance, they cost us that game. But
Yeah, in that instance, the Lakers are the reason why they are where they are.
yeah, so we gotta do better. So we won 2 in a row. We're gonna keep that streak going. We coming back.
are
So
the Lakers on pace to make the playoffs.
yeah, we're like 3 or 4
Are
games
they?
out of the 4th seed. The West is really congested.
Wait,
Yo.
you are really?
Yeah,
Yo.
I can go over the standings.
Yo, it's funny. It's the funny thing is that Dell said this like last week. He said it 2 weeks ago. It's gonna be 1 week into the season. They're gonna be 1 week left. They're gonna be with 3 games behind 4th, and they're gonna be sitting at 13.
It's like you do understand the teams in front of you also have to lose.
So we're the 12th
Yeah.
seed, right? So peep this, TG. We're the 12th seed, but we're literally 3 games out of the 4th seed because the 4th seed is 28 and 25, and we're 25 and 28. Everybody's kind of hovering around 500.
Okay.
So that's why
I see how
that's
you
the
look,
optimism. Yeah. And so the other topic we had, I don't know if you guys got to see, but they released the NBA All-Star reserves. They revealed it. Did y'all get a chance to see those players?
Yeah.
I know that James Harden didn't make the list.
There was a lot of snubs. I'm
And he's
surprised.
averaging,
I mean,
what,
it
20
makes
and
sense. I'm
11?
kind of surprised Kawhi Leonard didn't make it, but I mean, he's been hurt. I just posted like in the Western.
Did he play enough games?
He's been balling lately. I mean,
Okay.
he's been, but I guess I don't know if he played enough games. But I posted. So these are let's go through them by conference. We'll start with the East since most of our guys on this call are from the East. So Eastern Conference, they had Bam, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle. What do y'all think of those and who's snubbed?
I didn't
Gotta
know
look at
DeRozan.
Halliburton stats and Drew Holiday.
No, Halliburton's been balling. He's like
Has he
20
been?
points, 10 assists, over
Nah,
10 assists.
yeah.
I mean, that's what James Harden's averaging. He's averaging 20.
Honestly, no. I'll let Halliburton. I mean, there was a point where like they were like in the playoff race and he got hurt, and they started to falter as of late. But nah, I can't take him out of it.
About Drew
I feel
Holiday.
those that like the idea of. I feel those at the idea of the. I feel those at the idea of the All-Star game is to showcase your young talent. And I think, I mean, you're improving talent. And I think the issue though is that when you have Harden back in there, it's like, okay, you're casting away someone like Halliburton and who had a better season. Harden was hurt too. I mean, I think that
What about Drew
DeRozan.
Holiday then? Nah, I'll give you Halliburton. What about Drew Holiday?
I would take DeRozan out.
Nah, isn't DeRozan?
Okay, what position is
For
DeRozan?
who?
Like, what is he? Is he a front court player or is he a?
They might have him as a forward.
Okay, so if he's a forward, I would think that give me Siakam over him.
Yeah, where's the
Actually, Siakam is nice.
Yeah, I will give Siakam.
I want to hear the 5 biggest snubs. And let me know your reaction. De'Aaron Fox, I don't know how he's not in it. They're the 3rd seed in the West. James Harden, Pascal Siakam, Trae Young, and Anthony Edwards.
I don't know about Trae Young. Yeah.
Trae Young.
Edwards. I gotta see the West.
Jalen Brunson, he should be in there.
There's six. There's six.
Brunson has actually surprised me. That kid can ball.
There's 6.
Devin Booker. AD's not in it? AD should be in the damn.
First off, time out. I have a thing with AD. The Lakers are 12th or 13th in the West. They do not have 2 All-Stars. They
can't have 2 All-Stars.
They can't have 2 All-Stars.
No.
Butler's not it. Bro, AD was dominating. So we're gonna act like AD didn't have his stretch dominating like 35.
No, you do not have you cannot have 2 All-Stars. And he was hurt for like a month and a half. No.
Bro, he wakes up an All-Star, bro. Like, come on.
Well, he didn't wake up an All-Star.
Are we putting the best talent in the All-Star game?
Are
we like, come on, what are we doing here?
What do you mean you're putting the best? Yeah, you are putting the best talent.
If we were 3 games over 500 and we were the 3rd seed, does
that changes. That changes.
He could thank the rest for not being a damn.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But like besides Anthony Davis, he was hurt. I'll give you that. I think Jalen Brunson and De'Aaron Fox, those are wild to me. I don't know.
Is Paul George an All-Star?
Yes.
He is.
All right.
I think Edwards should have been over him.
Yeah. Wait, who?
I think Edwards should have been over Paul George.
Absolutely. But you can say Fox, but then the positionality thing comes into play. Sabonis is in, right?
So yeah, the Western Conference backups or reserves are Paul George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dame Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, John Morant, and Domantas Sabonis.
Has Dame Lillard played enough games like that?
Yeah, he's been dropping like 60 the last few games after Pat Bev lit the fire in them.
So what they do is it's a 12-man roster, and for the reserves you have basically 3 front court players, 2 back court players, and then you have 2 wild cards. So whatever positions is the last 2 spots. So that's what you got to factor in when you're thinking about if you're going to take someone away. Who do you think, like, who was the wild card spots? Was that Jackson and like Morant? Because you had already 2 guards already because you have SGA and Dame, or was that like? So you're probably talking like 1 spot, and it was. I think that maybe you're subbing Fox. Are you saying that Fox didn't make it because Sabonis made it? Or
he should be in over.
How does this work? Is it the fans vote for the reserves and then coaches?
No, it's the coaches. Coaches
pick the reserves.
Should they eliminate positionality for reserves?
Yeah.
And just get the best players, right?
Yeah.
honestly, because like that impacts your legacy, the number of All-Star games you make.
I
But I
mean,
mean,
5,000
it impacts
players played
the
in the
quality of the
NBA.
game, though. You can't have a reserve team of all
5,000.
guards if all the guards are ill. Like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta still field the team.
Right.
You do have a game to play.
And to jump in real quick with Dame Lillard's numbers, because like he faced the Lakers. I don't know if you saw Pat Bev, like he had the broken watch Dame John. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I was dying, but like
he did a broken watch.
Yeah, he would at the end of the game, he was like, and then put it in his pocket.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's wild disrespect. We won that game, and Pat Bev, he didn't lock him down, but he held him to 24 points, 5 of 17 shooting, 3 of 13 from 3. So he had him struggling. But since that game, Dame faced the Spurs, gave him 37 on 12 of 19. Faced the Jazz, gave him 60 on 21 of 29. Then he dropped 30, 42, 42. So he's been on a tear ever since that game. And Pat Bev said in the interview, like, yeah, my bad to the other teams, dog. I didn't know I was gonna
He's
have
corny. I hate Pat Bev.
Yeah. If
Bad
he's
to
on
the
your
other
team, you
teams.
love him, yo.
At least we gotta win.
He's an ill dude to have on the team, but yeah.
I'm glad we don't have him on the Celtics.
I mean,
Right.
I'm surprised.
Y'all can take him. I'm glad we don't have him.
Jeremiah Grant's kind of been bought. So Bradley Beal didn't make it?
No.
He hasn't been doing shit in the Wizards.
Yo, I think that contract is going to become one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
I feel like he misses games like Kyrie.
And he has a no trade clause. So it's gonna that contract is tailing into being one of the worst.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Quietly.
I mean, Devin Booker was kind of hurt, but like if Zion made it though, I feel like that's when it's like, all right.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards should have been in there.
Anthony Edwards, yeah.
Like get Lowry out of there. Like, come on. I know Utah has to have a representative.
He's been balling though.
He has been balling. He has, but I mean, who are you taking out of them? Like,
I know what Lowry.
I'll take the young player.
Anthony Edwards. Well, they both.
Yeah.
They both young.
Wait, I thought you said Lowry.
No, Lowry marketing.
Not Kyle Lowry.
Not Kyle.
Lowry
not
marketing.
Fat.
Yeah.
Not Kyle Thickums Lowry.
Not fat ass.
That's crazy.
Not fat ass. Kyle.
Yo, y'all remember that All-Star game when he was taking charges and he was mad, and those were some ill plays, but I was like, yo, this is so corny to watch.
So you can't have him in an All-Star game.
Of an All-Star game, like
out here taking charges.
It was ill though. It was ill big plays. But I was like, bro, you taking a charge in the All-Star?
I'll be so pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck?
And it was like
hurt
two of those
dumbass niggas taking a charge in the All-Star game.
Like multiple big time charges. It was ill, but I was just like, come on, bro. Like,
was that the COVID season?
Was it? I want to say it was the year before or after.
It had to be the COVID season, and yeah, that's the game where Nick Nurse ran Kemba's knee into the ground. Because I want to say that was the year when they had the Kobe tribute, where you score 24 points. There's no fourth quarter clock or whatever.
Oh, I think that was that year. Yeah, that was the Kobe. Yeah. That's ill, the Kobe rule.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, it's always going to be hard with the All-Star because you have so many players. Like they have put a stat out there like 5,000 players played in the NBA or around that, and 400. Give or take, made the All-Star. Yeah. So you're talking about like maybe like a 9% chance that you're gonna make the All-Star. And it's hard.
Yeah, it is legacy, so that is true.
I mean, Jalen Brunson, just to throw it out there, he averaged 23 points a game, shooting 47%. And then 39.4% from 3 with 6 assists a game.
Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, he's been balling.
That kid's a baller, yo.
I'm actually like, that's probably the biggest snub in my eyes. Like,
I think that was a good signing for the Knicks. That was like a nice little
lefty. They were saying they cornered the market on the lefties because they got him, R.J. Barrett, and Julian
Randle. Damn. Wow.
Oh, wow. That's funny. 3 lefties.
Right.
Southpaw. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we've covered all the topics we listed, so we can either wrap here or throw out another topic. I don't know if there's other things anybody want to get off their chest.
Where do y'all think Kyrie? What do you think is the best fit? Where would y'all like to see him as? I'm not. I already know what Dell's gonna say. All right, where would y'all like to see him?
Right.
It's interesting. I don't know, man, because Kyrie is kind of like, at this point, like where would be a good fit for him? Like he could, I mean, or not where would, like where wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like he's like a guard who can handle the ball, he can shoot it. He would really fit in any offense. You know what I'm saying? And he's still young enough. Like, what is he, 30, 31 or whatever?
Yeah, he's about that age.
So like it's not terrible. It's just that the dude is just so like unpredictable.
He's
like,
volatile.
erratic.
He's toxic.
Yeah, he's just so like, and he's such a bad leader that like you just can't. Yeah, it's difficult to just like I don't know. All I know is that he's so talented that he's gonna land on his feet. His talent is he's gonna be good regardless. Yeah. Like if he hits free agency this summer or whatever, somebody's giving him 40 million a year or whatever he wants. Like somebody's giving it to him. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, I'm not sure.
And I got another topic too, but yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'm not sure if someone's gonna give him the bag because of the reasons in Brooklyn. And I feel those that like when you do one thing somewhere else, someone gives you a chance. But I don't think that like the juice is worth, juice is worth the squeeze as far as when you think about him. Especially when you look at teams like the Pistons or whoever may have cap space. It's just like we have a young core. Why are we gonna infuse him into what we have going on? That's why he's garnering. That's why he strategized for a trade, because the team that he goes to, he's probably going to sign there and stay there. And, I think that's kind of the reason why he asked for a trade, because he knows that he doesn't want to go to those teams in the free agency. And I think the Mavericks, if you look at their team, they miss Brunson.
Yeah.
They miss Brunson. Yeah. People, Brunson was able to, do his thing next to Luka.
Wait,
I mean, they're 4 seed, but they're 28 and 25.
So I look at.
I mean, if they miss him that much that they're still above 500 and in the playoffs, I think they're good.
No, they're flawed.
They didn't have to pay him 100 mil. He's an ill player.
They're a flawed team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they'll be exposed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can. The record isn't a marker of who they are as a team. I think that you have to look at your team and say, how do we get better?
I think their record is indicative of who they are.
No, I'm talking about
the standings. The standings.
No, but I'm just saying, as far as going into the playoffs and saying, they're fine, they're going to be okay when it comes to the playoffs. We're like, no, they're not. When you look at them, they need someone to take the load off of him, off of Luka. And they don't have the person. And, Kyrie has played along other stars.
Mm-hmm.
And they've even put out the news earlier this week that they, everybody's on the block for, a second star.
Yeah.
I just thought about it. It would be scary. Like I think I might have the assets would be the Clippers, but I don't even want to. That's a little scary, but.
Dude, there's definitely Kyrie. If Kyrie hits free agency, I'm convinced he's gonna get 40 mil or whatever it is. Like, maybe he doesn't get a super. I don't know. I don't even know if another team's able to sign him to a super. If he's
only his team.
Whatever. Yeah, I think he can get the most money. That's probably what he wants. He wants the most money, so he wants to see if he can get it from his current team. They don't want to give it to him, so his next option is.
Free.
I have to request a trade. It's like more of a business thing, but then with his reputation, his volatility, it comes out as like it's Kyrie, he's being cooked again, but it's probably more of a business thing for him at this point, and he knows his talent. Like to me, I mean, what is he? 31 years old, still a superstar player. What's he coming off this season? Like he's been healthy. What is he averaging? 27. You know, so it's like, dude, like this guy's gonna get 40 mil. Like this is not Russell Westbrook, who the Lakers have literally completely destroyed his career, like coming off the bench, averaging 10 a game. No, like you're not gonna give that guy
averaging like 8 assists. He might be this. He's averaging like 16, but he might be the sixth man.
I'm sorry, bro. The Lakers have completely ruined Russell Westbrook. Like bringing him off the bench and what they're doing with him, like you've
think it's a premature. I think we got to see how this goes.
Hey,
As someone that watches, let me jump in as the Lakers expert that watches pretty practically every game. Like he is bought in, so like I think even though his numbers are down, what it shows is like he'll buy into a system.
I wouldn't buy into that bullshit.
Everybody says
I would have stayed home.
Just to show Westbrook his respect.
I'm buying into that bullshit.
Show him his respect.
But Dell, we can't sit here and not discount the fact that granted age happens, but he went. It was 180 from when he was his last year with the Wizards to the Lakers.
He's not looking good. I mean, people don't highlight the hella efficient games that he has. Like he'll have a 4 turnover, 5 turnover game, but then he'll go 50% from the field and have like 1 turnover the next game. So I mean, let's see how the playoffs goes if we have them.
That's a $44 million player
right now.
That's trash.
47 actually. Oh my God.
God damn.
Even worse.
He makes the most on the Lakers.
Yeah, he's the highest paid player.
That's the highest paid player.
Think about how cooked that is. The highest player on the Lakers. We're bringing him off the bench. I know. Like the Lakers are, I don't know. I don't even want to.
We're trying to get it together, man.
What was your last topic, though?
So what I wanted to bring up, though, was I kind of wanted to just talk about the young team, specifically the Grizzlies and the Cavs, who recently had the scuffle. I don't know if y'all saw the fight between Dillon Brooks and Donovan Mitchell. There was a play. I didn't watch the game live, but like,
Mitchell's about that.
Dillon Brooks falls down. He kind of throws a shot at.
He does it. He pulls a Draymond.
He's a dirty player.
Mitchell throws the ball at him, and they script. So I like those two young feisty teams. I really like what the Grizzlies have going on, but they're still 2-3 years away from actually winning anything. I think the Cavs, I think, are going to make moves in the Eastern Conference this year. Like I like Donovan Mitchell's fit over there. You got Garland. You got Evan Mobley. Like I even like their scorer coming off the bench. I'm forgetting his name, LeVert. Like I think they got good pieces.
They got Rubio back.
Yeah, so it's like I actually like the Cavs. The Grizzlies. I mean, I didn't like the whole scene with Shannon Sharp and the Grizzlies. I think again they're still a little ways out. But what do y'all think about that altercation? The update is that Dillon Brooks got suspended 1 game. Donovan Mitchell fine.
He's a dirty player, man. It's documented. It's documented, dude. That dude's dirty.
He's dirty.
It's not. That's his MO. Yeah. He's a dirty player. He's like he's one of them players like Grayson Allen. They play on that edge. Except Dillon Brooks can actually play basketball, and Grayson Allen's more of just a whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like he's a dirty player, dude. Like
I didn't know he was in the same light of a Allen. I honestly didn't know he was a dirty player. I know he brings an edge. He's not a punk. Well, I mean, depending on how you define basketball player. Depending on how you define the word punk, but I guess I gotta see more evidence of him being.
I mean, don't forget in the playoffs last year, he's the reason like Gary Payton Jr. had that ugly injury.
Was that him?
And people didn't want to call him a dirty player then, but I feel like now he's starting to like.
It's documented. He's had multiple.
I'll take TG's word. I'll take.
He's had multiple incidents.
But
the thing about him though,
his elbow on that play, that was wild.
But Brooks is a good player though, like because he can actually play basketball.
He's a body guy.
He's a 2-way player, 3-and-D. Right.
He's the guy you want. He's the guy you want on your team.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like so, I think he kind of gets away with like when you're a better player, like guys like Bruce Bowen and, like guys like, Grayson Allen, those guys aren't really good players. So they get that reputation.
That's how
when you're actually a good player and you play like that, Draymond Chris Paul, like those are.
Well, I'm naming
players.
Draymond Green as one of those guys in the first category. He's a nutcracker to me. I don't think
Draymond Green, like those players who were like really good players. Draymond, Chris
I don't
Paul,
like Draymond Green.
Draymond is
I don't like
him and Chris Paul.
Draymond Green is trash.
They go for
He's
nuts,
like,
man.
thank you. Like Draymond Green is like one of those players that just
weird.
benefited from being drafted by the right team and being like, you can replace him with 10 other guys and they win all those same shits.
He's still a good player though. But I still Draymond is still a really good player, which is why like my argument is some of those really good players, they don't have that dirty as much like attached to their name.
He's good though. He's like a 6'6" guy for his career. Like maybe he's just like a Pat Bev. I don't know. Like is he really that good, or did he just get drafted and play with like 3-4 Hall of Famers?
Nah, I think you're under like so.
His
if you look at
defense
Draymond, during their run, during that like what was it, 6-year or whatever run that the Warriors have of being mad ill, I guarantee you his numbers were decent during them years. Probably like at least 10 and like 8 assists or some shit.
But yeah, for his career, he's 9.7 and 5.5.
I think that it's one of the situations how you have with Pat Bev where it's you despise him and he's not on your team, you love him if he is.
Nah, but Pat Bev is a journeyman who played in China and all this shit. Draymond Green is going to be an NBA Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is an NBA Hall of Famer. Pat Bev is a journeyman NBA player. That's the difference here. Like,
but he's making 13 mil. He's making 13 mil this year, bro. He's getting paid.
Beverly?
Yeah.
Wow, 13 million?
Yeah.
Lakers are in shambles. You're paying him 13, bro.
We'll take it.
Shambles, bro.
We'll take it if he's gonna get put back dunks on the Celtics.
Give me 13.
Bro, you got Lakers fans bragging about freaking Pat Beverly's salary, bro. That's how bad the Lakers are right now. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I could
Lakers
give me that 13 mil, man.
Yo, I would you pivot. There was one point that I would also say that I seen as far as in I forgot to even say it. Maybe I explained a part of it before in the NFL was if you want to build your team and you don't have Pat Mahomes, you better go get you some weapons.
Yeah,
because that's what it's going to be. You saw what however you feel about Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, they went and they got him weapons all across the board as far as who he can throw it up to, and that's what you're gonna have to do with your quarterback. Your quarterback, period. And you saw the Jaguars did the same thing with
Rick. Do you really think it's just strictly because of the weapons? Because if you really look at the game that the Eagles had, how many times like Jalen Hurts was missing? I remember him missing throws down to AJ. There was a long bomb he missed. It wasn't slicing and dicing, passing. It was in the trenches, the D line folding the other side's quarterback, and then our O line us running it down their throats.
I get that.
Like the weapons.
I get that,
ill,
but
the
you're
weapons
not
are
going
ill.
to
But if
win
you look
with
at the Chiefs, if you look at the Chiefs, dude, they lost weapons. But what did they do? They fortified that O line.
Yeah.
And then their D line is ill.
This is what I'm going to say. That's why I said you have to have weapons, or you're gonna have if you don't have Pat Mahomes. That's why I said that, because I knew that argument was gonna come up. If you don't have Pat Mahomes, who is playing, let's say Brady-like, where Manning had the toys, Rivers had toys, Roethlisberger had toys. Brady didn't really have that luxury, especially early in his career, and he was making it do what it do. And what I'm saying though is that when you're going against Bill's team that has Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, you're going against a Bengals team that has Chase Boyd and Higgins. You're gonna need to compete. You're gonna need to compete with them. And granted, I understand, trench play matters, but you're not going to win solely just with trench play, because if you just focus on that, you'll get your doors blown off, because what's going to happen when you're down 2 scores and you have no horses. You have no horses to compete. How do you? Okay, so if a team like the Eagles jump on you 14-0 and you have no horses to come back, how?
Like the
Bro,
Patriots.
so
Exactly.
to
Like
your
the
point,
Patriots.
bro, to your point, the horses you're talking about, literally, San Fran did exactly what you're talking about. They had themselves Deebo Samuel, ill receiver. They had
Their
themselves
quarterback got hurt.
Brandon Ayuk,
Their quarterback was hurt.
Hold on. They had themselves George Kittle, ill tight end, all these weapons. Went out, hold on. Went out, got arguably the best running back in the league. What happened? None of it mattered. You know why? Because their O-line let them down.
Their quarterback
None of those
got
weapons
hurt.
mattered, bro.
Yeah,
And then if you look at the Eagles and how they actually won, all the weapons they had, it didn't matter.
Explain to me.
Because it was their D-line that won them the game.
So this is what you're gonna tell me. So you're telling me you'd rather have average weapons and
No. I'm just telling you.
I'm asking you. This is what I'm asking you.
I'm not saying like what I want.
Would you rather have average weapons, and you have great, good, whatever you want to say, elite offensive line, or do you want to have, let's say, a speed bump offensive lineman, and you have elite weapons around him?
That's basically saying, do you want to be the Buffalo Bills? Elite weapons, no O-line, and you lose. Like,
I'm asking.
I get exactly what you're saying.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying to you. Would you want to? Do you want to be the Bills or do you want to be the Patriots?
Oh, the question is.
That's what I'm asking.
The Bills or the Patriots?
No, I mean saying like if you want.
Patriots didn't make the playoffs.
Exactly. That's why you're not going to make the playoffs, because you have no horses to throw the ball to make plays for you. I'm telling you, if you want to win in this league, you need horses.
So I'll say this. I think I'm actually leaning with Rick, but I'll say that it's like what TG saying has historically been true, and I think it's been the last 2-3 years where we've seen the transition. It's like a new era now where when Brady left, like we started to see it when Brady left New England. There were no weapons there. He felt like he couldn't compete. Now you got Mike Evans, you got Chase Godwin, Julio Jones comes. I think the talent in the NFL has jumped so much at the skill position that now you do need guys. You still need guys in the trenches. Like honestly, the Super Bowl that the Bucs won in large part was because Mahomes didn't have some of his key linemen there. But I think there's a transition now that recently happened where that recently kind of like took over the top elite teams. Even when you look at the Vikings, right? They've got all those studs. Then you look at the Giants, they got a stud running back, but where's the wide receivers at? So I think it's recently kind of shifted from prioritizing the line to now needing your skilled players. What do y'all think of that?
I think y'all are missing my point, honestly. But I'll let you go first, D.
Yeah, what you thinking of? What do you think of it?
What is? I think I'm kind of honestly struggling to understand the argument. So what do we? What's A and what's B? What are the two?
All right, I'm telling you.
It sounds like you guys think I'm saying basically you have literally a NFL team with only O linemen and only D linemen, and literally have like me and Rondell running routes. Obviously, you're not going to be a playoff team. So that's not what I'm saying at all.
I'll jump in.
Who's
that's obviously not what I'm saying.
So, okay, who's
your point about the Patriots is proven, like that makes a perfect sense. Like the Patriots, they have a good O line. They don't have like a dominant D line, but they have a decent D line. But right, like they don't have a good team. Like the Patriots aren't a good team. We're not a playoff team. So like using the Patriots is not a good example. We're looking at
who would be a team?
We're like literally
TG, hold on. You said you counted me with San Fran as like your to go against. Who is the team that you would say for that supports your argument? What team is that?
So number one, my argument is simply just looking at what actually happened in the NFL this year. I'm just looking at what happened in the NFL. In the NFL, you're saying, hey, get all these weapons and dude, with talent, you're going to be a good team. So I can't disagree with you saying getting weapons doesn't make you ill. We're splitting hairs here. We're talking about what puts you above the top to be a championship team, not just ill. Yeah, dude, of course, getting weapons makes you the Bills and you're a perennial superstar team. Yes, but what gets you over the top to win the championship? Okay, it's not just going to be solely those weapons. That's why I said with the Chiefs knew that. They knew that they can lose a Hall of Fame.
But my point was, if you don't have Pat Mahomes, you need the weapon.
Right. That's what he started out with. And so I'll read. My understanding is like, Rick is saying, start off by saying, without a super elite QB, you should build your team with the weapons around him. Essentially, the skill position.
Okay, how many teams have a super elite QB?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
but
I mean.
What TG is saying is like the linemen and the trenches should be prioritized before.
I think y'all are arguing two different things.
I think so too. Like
you don't. Yeah, I think y'all agree. I think y'all agree with each other for the most part.
I think we definitely agree. But
y'all
like,
here's my thing.
What I'm saying.
I don't think. Here's my thing. I don't think the Bengals made a mistake when they took Chase over the left tackle everybody wanted them to take.
Yep.
I don't think. I think.
I would disagree.
I think personally with me.
I personally would disagree because now, honestly, they would have got that O lineman. You would have had your stalwart O lineman. And you still got to pay this dude, what's his name? T. Higgins. They might lose T. Higgins this year. Okay, you still got Chase. Now you still haven't even fixed your O-line. Yeah. And next season, God forbid, you get Joe Burrow knocked out again.
They have a left tackle. They have a left tackle. They signed Lyle Collins. They don't go to the Super Bowl without Chase. Let's call it what it is. They're not in the Super Bowl.
They're not.
Like, what are we talking about now? They're not in the Super Bowl last year without Chase. And they went and signed Ted Karras. He's their center. They got Lyle Collins.
I agree with that. They're not in the Super Bowl last year without Chase.
You don't build.
They're definitely not in the Super Bowl without Chase.
You don't build your teams from the outside in. You build your teams from the inside out. Granted, there are caveats to that.
I think though is in the right position though is I think in the right position I feel though is that you can still win with, let's say, average talent at those spots. I don't think that it needs to be elite. I don't think that it needs to be
average lineman. You're saying average line.
I think yeah.
What teams are doing it? What teams are winning championships?
But the pass rushers.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Chiefs have the
Chiefs have, dude. They said their D tackle. They're talking about
Chris Jones. That's it. It's Chris Jones.
They're saying he's the second best in the league.
Who else? Who else is on that
list? They have a dominant player at D line.
Yes, they have. Okay, they have a dominant player, but it's just like, okay, you have a dominant player, and you have nothing else.
And then they have a whole bunch of rookies, bro. They have a whole bunch of rookies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what
played really well. They added that kid Karloftis, whatever his name is, who's a really nice,
he's a rookie
player, whatever.
He's rookie, but he's not
first round corner. They added a lot of players, like.
I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. Though, is that when you look at it,
and then they fortified that O line. Like the Chiefs basically did, like what you're saying, like, dude, what you're talking about is building a really, really good team. I
don't think that the Eagles are as good. I don't think that the Eagles are that good if they have AJ Brown. They don't have AJ Brown. I don't think that the Eagles. I don't care what you talk about line play
this year.
That's fair.
I do not think the Eagles are that as good. I don't think they're that good. It's that they don't have AJ Brown. If they don't have AJ, I don't think that they're as good. I will. It's the coverage that he sets, the fear that he puts into defense. You have to understand where he's on the field, and then that opens up opportunity for Watkins and Smith, and then also guarded to, whoever got to match up with him.
But
I think he sets.
There's a stat that the Eagles
did have. They had 70 sacks, and they added Ndamukong Suh.
They're on a pace to almost. It's a historic pace they're about to be on some 85 Bears type shit with what they're doing defensively. I don't think this is all on AJ Brown. I think it's a whole team.
It's a full talent, of course.
I mean,
your
Eagles
goal
have
is
an entire team.
They do best roster.
I mean,
they have the best roster.
I mean, the goal is to build a roster, like you're saying, like, and they may be the most complete. They probably have. Maybe they are the most complete team in football. When you look at the roster top to bottom, as far as in that, but I'm saying, like, there's a reason why they're in the Super Bowl. There's a reason why they was number one in the East. I mean, the AFC. I mean, NFC. The whole season is because of that, because of the way that they built their team. But all I'm just saying is that if I look at it, if I'm looking at my young quarterback and I want him to succeed, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna give him the best weapons, the best guys to go get it. I mean, I just look at the T. Higgins play. Joe Burrow just threw it up there and he made a play.
Crazy in double coverage.
He made a play. And he went and made a play, and I just look at it and say, like, I understand, like, the Bills. There's something that I feel though that the Bills. With the Bills running. Same thing with Tampa. It comes down to offensive. That's who its identity. It's like, yo, you have to run the ball. That's something that maybe Tampa, because they had O lineman hurt. Their center was gone for the whole season. But you have to run the ball. You can't abandon the run and just be a passing team. That's not gonna work. But I feel though is that, like,
if you can't run the ball like that, if you have
but since he could run the ball,
you can't run the ball, you're gonna
since he could run the ball. Since he could run, let's not act like since he got blown out in the AFC Championship.
Oh no, they didn't. They didn't.
That's what I'm saying. They were there. They were there as far as you're talking about a call that you're talking about a call that. Burrow had the ball. they failed to capitalize, but you're talking about a call that helped aided the Chiefs to kick a field goal. But the Bengals were there. It's not like it's not like I'm arguing for the Bills or who keep faltering and they can't get past the second game or they can't get into the Super Bowl. I mean, personally, I understand the trenches. I respect the trenches, but I feel though is that, like, outside, I think that you can win. You can win that way.
I just say there's a reason why the Bengals haven't won a championship, Bills haven't won a championship, and the reason why the Chiefs have.
I mean, we're splitting hairs when we talk about
this year.
We're splitting hairs when we're talking about.
And there's a reason why the Eagles and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl this year.
We're splitting hairs because when we're talking about, like, last year, Cincinnati. Logan Wilson got called for a phantom pass interference. They were a phantom pass interference on winning the Super Bowl. And then we're talking about like it can happen and it will happen. I feel though is that there's so much. Yo, no, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying it's like it's not as if like but it's not the game was still there. It's not like they're getting,
like I said, we're splitting hairs here. This is about splitting. This is not about this is like what gets you over the top. Not just what makes you an L team. Yeah, pieces all over. You're gonna be ill. You're gonna be the greatest show on turf. You ain't gonna be winning the chips. Look at the. I think that I personally disagree. I think that it will. I think that it will sort of tailor that way. I think that if you're talking about an average examples of teams that have won chips like that, like recently.
That won chips like what? Not in the trenches?
Because of their weapons.
I mean, because of their
look at the Rams. The Rams won. I mean, didn't they have that dude Andrews? They had ill O-line, ill D-line.
I mean, they
had ill weapons. though. They had it Odell. They had
ill weapons. Yeah, they had ill weapons, but they had
when y'all say weapons, are you solely talking about offensive players?
I think skill position, receiver, running back, tight ends.
Yeah, it seems like that's what he's saying. Like, just like if you have
where you could argue that the skill players are actually better than the QB.
Huh?
Like where the receivers and the skill players are helping the QB because their talent is so high.
I just want to know examples of the teams who have won the championships.
I mean, I will not sit there. We're not going to sit there and throw that Rams offensive lineman in the Hall of Fame.
I'm just asking for examples of teams that have won championships simply on their
the Rams won
So he's using the Rams as an example, TG.
No, because dude, the Rams have Aaron Donald, arguably one of the best defensive players of all time, which is my point.
That's a fair. I think you both are right with the Rams.
I've been asking that we literally haven't.
The Rams are unique.
One team that have had literally one championship.
The Rams are unique because they said F them trades and they just stacked up the team like
no, but
a bunch of stars.
Tampa won because of their offense.
Tampa
Tampa won that game because they got to Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, but I'm saying
you forgot that game already. Pat Mahomes
oh my gosh! But you know,
how many times
so
you forgot that game already?
This is TG's argument. This is TG's argument. Because if I name a team,
we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Because if I name a team, this is his argument. He can't lose. If I name a team that won it because of their weapons, he'll sit there and say,
because every team you're giving me
the other team
is
lost
going
because of
towards
X,
my
Y, and
point,
Z.
bro.
So then it's a never. He never can lose. He always can, like, whatever. Like, so if you name a team and say this team won because of their weapons. I mean, if you look at the case, KC's offensive line wasn't that great when they won. They won because you had third and forever, and you could throw the ball to fucking Tyreek Hill. And the Niners decided they didn't want to cover it.
I think honestly, low key, not even low key, getting rid of Tyreek Hill opened their offense up, if anything.
No, it did.
Because you can't.
It did open the offense up. That's why
you got like five players that they can all. They're not Tyreek Hill by any stretch.
For sure.
They need to be accounted for. Like you don't know
but
where
that's why. But here's my point. And I think that TG got away from. Right? I think that TG got away from my point. My point being is that to win in this league, if you don't have Pat Mahomes, you need to have elite weapons. I never sat there and said, okay, you have to have a shitty offensive line.
Give me an example then. Give me an example.
What do you mean? What do you mean give you an example? You have Cincinnati.
So you have Joe Burrow. What are you talking about? He's an elite quarterback.
Let me try to help both of these out. I'm gonna name the last stretch of Super Bowl winners starting in 2009. And let me know whose side it favors. Starting with after the Giants beating the Pats, because that's you would argue that's the huge part. You got the Steelers over the Cardinals. The Cardinals with that high powered up. You got, and I'll just name 5, and then y'all react. Steelers over Cardinals, Saints over the Colts, Green Bay over Pittsburgh, Giants over New England, Baltimore over San Fran, Seattle over Denver. And that's 2009 to like 2014. That's recent history. I could go more recent if you want.
Yeah, go more recent.
So then we got New England beating Seattle, Denver beating Carolina, New England over Atlanta, Philly over New England over Rams, Kansas City beating San Fran, Tampa Bay over Chiefs, Rams over Cincy.
All right, I will interject like this. Yo, teams are like at the end of the day, you have to have a good team to win, right? My point being though is that I'm looking at trends where 15 years ago wouldn't be valid now because Jalen Hurts wouldn't be playing quarterback 15 years ago. That's my argument. Jalen Hurts wouldn't be playing quarterback.
Wouldn't that just be Michael Vick?
Huh? No, he's not Michael Vick.
Wouldn't that just
he's not Michael Vick because he isn't the passer Michael Vick was.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not the passer that Michael Vick was.
I agree with that.
So I don't think that Jalen Hurts would have gotten a chance. I think that now, as far as in college entering the NFL, these quarterbacks are getting more of a chance. And that's why you look back and say, damn, I wonder what a Seneca Wallace would have looked like if they gave him a shot. I wonder what, whatever quarterback you can name that, like, oh, back then that didn't get a chance because they put you into this, you have to be this pocket passer and that's it. And they never, whatever. Now they're looking for the player, the backyard, like off platform type of, quarterback. My point my point is this: is Pat Mahomes can process and he can make it work. Joe Burrow, he's not Pat. When you talk about skill wise and all of that, he's not Pat Mahomes. And I think that he's a great quarterback.
That's not what people were saying this year.
That,
people were ready to crown him. Look, I don't know.
But here's the thing.
Already. I said he's better.
I think people were ready to crown.
No, here's the thing. He's not physically talented as Pat Mahomes. So I feel though is that to maximize him as a quarterback, you have to put elite talent around him. And that's my calling card, period. That was my stance, period. When you look at all the other quarterbacks, because as far as I feel like Pat Mahomes, to be honest, like with his ability, he's head and shoulders above like a lot of every quarterback. But when you factor in other quarterbacks catch up to him, when you factor in the talent that they have around them, that is my stance. That is my point. My point is not to dismiss the Trich play or anything like that whatsoever. I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback because he has Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. I think Brock Purdy
I agree with that.
Got put in a great position because he had Kittle, Ayuk, Samuel, and McCaffrey. If you put
I agree with that.
Purdy somewhere else, he's not as great. So that is and Josh Allen all of a sudden became a better quarterback when he got Diggs. I'm just saying though is that, and then my point is maybe it's a little bit more biased, and this is the reason why, I look at it and say someone like Mac Jones needs better talent at the other positions. And it's not just a line, situation. He needs better talent because you need guys that can go make plays for you.
I agree with that. And just to talk about that last point, when you talk about New England, like, I think that's simplifying my argument. If you're saying, oh yeah, Pats just need a new O-lineman. Obviously, but Pats don't need another O-lineman that's going to put them over the top. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is, like I said, we're splitting hairs here. We're looking at those teams that are all championship contenders, okay? And we're analyzing how they're constructed, all right? And I 100% agree with what you're saying. You need, if you don't have weapons, number one, you're not even going to be let into the party. So if you don't have weapons, you ain't even at the dance. Now we talking about, now when you at the dance, who gonna be the person getting you feel me? I feel you about to wrap up, Del. So yeah, we could, we could wrap this. This is a good conversation. But,
good. But I'll give it 2 more minutes if y'all wanted to get any last kind of words off or whatever.
I just feel that at the end of the day, the teams that are built all around, they got the weapons, obviously, you know what I'm saying? And they got, good O-line, D-line, you got, really good rosters, you know what I mean? And a good coach. Yeah. That's literally those teams. I mean, obviously it's perfect, but there are examples of teams that have been built like that, who have won championships. You know what I'm saying? You had the Rams last year. That's how they were built. You have, what is it? Chiefs, look at them currently. You know what I mean? Like, they're a more well-rounded team. They were ill with Tyreek and all that, but now they got ill linemen. They can protect, Patty a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They have young players. They're not an ill defense, young, nice defensive players. They're more of a well-rounded team.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the well-rounded aspect, and you want to be a real well-rounded team. Like, I feel like the Eagles, are an outlier because I think that they have everything except, I guess, I don't know if you want to, I don't know as far as in where you rank Hurts in a quarterback field, but I just think that, like, when you're building the teams, you have to look at who you're facing, and to be able to compete with Pat Mahomes, sometimes you're gonna have to score points, but you better make sure that you're outscoring him. And I just don't think that you can have, while everybody else has great talent, you can't just have marginal or average. You have to have that type of talent on your team as well. That's just kind of just like my stance is where I see the NFL going. But I know that we're about to wrap
I
up.
100% agree. I never said you can win with marginal talent. 100% agree with that.
We'll wrap there. That was we got some good debate in there. This is Sports and Layers. Check us out next week. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.